The bold and the beautiful. Scandal in Italy. Ridge's kiss sparks explosive fallout across the Forresters and Logans. The truth was supposed to be simple. Ridge Forrester had saved Brooke Logan's life in Italy. That was the headline, the official version, the story the public was meant to hear. A moment of heroism. A man saving a woman in peril. But the bold and the beautiful doesn't do simple. And as of this week, nothing about that moment is clean anymore. Because now, there's a photo. And it's gone viral. Ridge Forrester wasn't just pulling Brooke from danger. He wasn't just carrying her to safety. The camera didn't catch an act of medical urgency or noble intention. It caught a kiss. A real one. Intimate. Lingering. And for Thomas Forrester, that image was a bomb dropped directly into the heart of everything he's been trying to build. The photo spreads like wildfire, first in gossip circles, then across social media, and finally on news sites. Forrester hero or Logan lover, the captions are vicious. The implications worse. And within hours, the photo triggers an avalanche that no one in Los Angeles is prepared to handle. Thomas sees the image and immediately seeks out his father. There's no build-up, no diplomacy, just raw disbelief and boiling anger. Did you really have to kiss her? He demands. You couldn't just save her. You had to make it romantic. The rage in his voice isn't just about Brooke. It's about everything years of watching Ridge waver, betray, flip sides, and leave emotional wreckage in his wake. Thomas has had enough. And this time, he's not keeping it quiet. For Ridge, the line between impulse and intention is blurry. He tries to explain. In the moment, he says it felt right. Brooke had nearly died. The emotion was overwhelming. He wasn't thinking. It wasn't planned. But Thomas doesn't care. You always say that, he shoots back. Every time you hurt Mom. Every time you humiliate her. It's always emotion. Never responsibility. What was supposed to be a heroic tale now spirals into a scandalone that threatens not just personal relationships, but the image of the Forrester family itself. For a brand built on elegance, control, and prestige, the optics are a disaster. The public doesn't see a rescue. They see a married man or nearly Mariette kissing a woman who isn't his fiancée. And in this case, that woman is Brooke Logan. Again. Taylor Hayes sees the photo too. And for her, the heartbreak is immediate. Her worst fears, barely pushed down beneath her surface optimism, have now exploded in her face. She had hoped this time would be different. That Ridge's promises meant something. That her son's return, Steffi's loyalty, her own patience, any of it would be enough to anchor Ridge once and for all. But this kiss isn't just a slip. It's a reminder that no matter what Ridge says, his heart never really lets go of Brooke. Brooke, caught off guard by the media frenzy, is shaken. She never wanted the photo to get out. It wasn't calculated. It wasn't a stunt. But she's not sorry either. Not really. In that moment, Ridge was hers. It felt real, familiar, safe. But now the photo is out, and the backlash has begun. Taylor's camp calls it manipulation. The Forresters whisper about sabotage. And in the court of public opinion, Brooke is back to playing the role she knows all too well: seductress, the interloper, the woman who always gets between Ridge and anyone else. The Forresters circle the wagons. Thomas leads the charge. He wants Ridge to apologize publicly, not just to Taylor, but to the family, to the brand, to the business. Because this isn't just a personal betrayal anymore, it's a corporate liability. Fashion editors are asking questions. Investors are concerned. The Logan name is once again entangled in Forrester drama, and the lines between boardroom and bedroom are collapsing fast. Hope Logan, already rattled by Thomas's recent behavior and the tension between her mother and Ridge, is dragged into the mess. She wants to support Brooke, but the image is damning. She confronts her mother, asking if the kiss meant something more. Brooke doesn't deny it. She says she didn't plan it, but it happened and it mattered. Hope begins to question everything again, especially her working relationship with Thomas, which was already on the brink. Meanwhile, Ridge retreats. He's cornered. Everyone wants a statement. Taylor wants closure. Thomas wants discipline. Eric wants damage control. Brooke wants clarity. And Ridge, as always, is caught between the past and the present, unable or unwilling to choose one path and let the other go. The truth is, the kiss didn't surprise him. It didn't confuse him. It confirmed something he's been trying to suppress since Italy's still in love with Brooke. But love is no longer enough. Not in this climate. Not with the Forresters and the Logans locked in a new battle, not just over Ridge, but over morality, legacy, and image. Thomas frames it as a question of integrity. Taylor sees it as betrayal. Brooke sees it as fate. And Ridge sees it as a mistake one he wanted to make. The situation escalates when media outlets begin reaching out for comment. The kiss isn't just trending, it's become a PR crisis. Forrester Creations is dragged into the conversation, and the company is forced to issue a vague, carefully worded statement about personal matters not reflecting company values. It only makes things worse. Inside Forrester, employees are divided. Some blame Brooke. The office buzzes with speculation. Rumors swirl that Taylor might pull out of public appearances, that the fall line could be delayed, that Brooke might be pushed out entirely. Thomas wants that more than anything. He wants Brooke gone, out of the company, out of their lives. He tells Ridge so, boldly, directly. You need to end this now, or she ruin everything. Again, Brooke, meanwhile, is forced to make a choice of her own. Step back, let Ridge fix his mess, and disappear from the spotlight, or stand her ground and defend what happened. She chooses the latter. In an impromptu interview caught on camera, Brooke acknowledges the kiss. It was real, she says. It wasn't planned, but it happened. And that should tell everyone something. The statement stuns Ridge, not just for its honesty, but for its impact. The internet erupts again. Ridge and Brooke trends. Fans and fashionistas take sides. Taylor's camp is furious. Thomas nearly breaks a glass in his office. Hope and Liam argue about loyalty. Eric watches in silence, hands folded, knowing that the storm isn't over, it's just beginning. As the week closes, the kiss has become a line in the sand. Sides are drawn. Loyalties are tested. And the war between the Forresters and the Logans is no longer just personal, it's public. Every action now has consequences. Every emotion has collateral damage. And at the center of it all, Ridge is being asked a question he's spent decades avoiding. Who is the woman he's truly willing to fight for? Because now, it's no longer about who he loves, it's about who he's willing to lose. The bold and the beautiful. Thomas returns, Brooke is warned, and the war for Ridge escalates this week on The Bold and the Beautiful. The balance of power in Los Angeles is about to shift again. What begins as a subtle undercurrent of tension quickly spirals into a full-blown confrontation as the return of one man sets a chain reaction in motion. That man is Thomas Forrester, and his message is loud, clear, and dangerous. Stay out of Ridge and Taylor's wedding, or pay the price. As the city prepares for Hope Logan's upcoming wedding, the air is thick with anticipation. Most assumed Thomas would return quietly for that occasion, show his face, smile politely, and maybe exchange a few awkward words with his ex-fiancée. But the Bold and the Beautiful has other plans. Instead of heading straight to Hope, Thomas heads to someone else entirely, Brooke Logan. The message he carries isn't sentimental, it's a warning. And it hits like a sledgehammer. My father is marrying my mother. Don't do anything to come between them. Those words, delivered coldly and directly, send Brooke into a spiral. Thomas's return isn't just about family. It's about control. He's stepping in for Steffi Forrester, who's temporarily out of the picture due to maternity leave, and he's making sure that Ridge doesn't slip through Taylor's fingersnip this time. With Steffi gone, someone had to carry the torch. Thomas has picked it up and he's swinging it like a weapon. Brooke has spent years in a cycle of push and pull with Ridge Forrester. Their story is legendary, decades of passion, betrayal, reconciliation, and pain. And yet, no matter what came between them, they always seem to find their way back. But this time, something is different. Taylor Hayes, forever cast as the runner-up in Ridge's saga, is no longer waiting patiently in the wings. She's fighting hard, and she's done playing the dignified victim. After a trip to Naples where she thought Ridge had made up his mind, Taylor returns to Los Angeles in a state of panic. She knows what's happening. She can feel Ridge slipping gain. The way he looks at Brooke, the weight in his eyes, the guilt when he speaks to Taylor, it's all too familiar. Taylor's worst fear is unfolding in real time, and she refuses to be humiliated again. The pressure intensifies as Taylor leans in. She demands clarity. She demands commitment. She pushes Ridge to name a wedding date, to say "I do" before the fragile engagement collapses under the weight of his indecision. There's urgency in her voice, desperation in her gaze, but also a flicker of steel. Taylor's not just reacting, she's maneuvering. She wants Ridge locked in. She wants this done. But the battlefield isn't even. Brooke, ever the seasoned player in Forrester drama, is far from out of the picture. And now, with Thomas directly in her face, her instincts are sharper than ever. She's seen this version of Thomas before: calm intensity, the protective rage, the veiled threats dressed as conversation. It's not a suggestion. It's a warning. Thomas is watching her closely. And if she so much as breathes near Ridge with romantic intent, he will retaliate. The irony is brutal. Thomas, once the black sheep, the unstable manipulator no one trusted, is now positioning himself as his mother's enforcer. Not only has he returned to LA with purpose, he's returned with power. His personal demons, though never fully tamed, are now channeled into one singular goal: making sure Ridge and Taylor finally get married. And any especially Brooke gets in the way will have to go through him. What Thomas doesn't realize, or perhaps doesn't care about, is the ripple effect of his actions. Brooke, shaken by the confrontation, begins to question everything. Her confidence in her bond with Ridge begins to crack. She starts replaying every recent interaction, wondering if she's already lost him. Or worse, if Ridge was never really hers to begin with. Ridge, as always, is caught in the crossfire. But this time, the pressure is suffocating. Taylor is demanding a wedding. Thomas is watching every move. Brooke is pulling away, but with those familiar eyes that still haunt him. And deep down, Ridge knows the truth: he's never wanted to face. Every time he chooses one woman, he betrays the other. And every time he walks down an aisle, he drags the weight of the past behind him. But there's no time for introspection. Taylor is already making plans. She's calling florists. She's picking colors. She's telling the press. To the outside world, it's full steam ahead. But behind closed doors, the house of cards trembles. And somewhere in the middle of all this, Thomas continues to work. He starts calling in favors. He meets quietly with key people at Forrester Creations. He wants everything perfect. He wants the family united. And most of all, he wants his father nowhere near Brooke Logan ever again. He sees himself as a protector, a guardian. But beneath that surface is something colder, something darker. Thomas isn't just fighting for Taylor's happiness. He's fighting for control. Hope Logan, engaged and distracted by her own upcoming wedding, is caught off guard when she hears Thomas is back. There's no contact yet, no dramatic reunion, no secret longing stares, but the knowledge that he's in town again, involved again, lurking around Brooke, unsettles her. She doesn't trust him. She doesn't believe he's changed. And if he's threatening her mother, that could drag her entire wedding into scandal and collapse. Eric Forrester, too, is watching the situation unfold with growing discomfort. The old man has always had a soft spot for Brooke and has never trusted Thomas's motives for long. While he's been quietly encouraging Rich to follow his heart and gently nudging him toward Brooke, Eric now fears Thomas's return could shift the whole dynamic violently. He considers stepping in but knows any interference could backfire. Still, the possibility of Thomas reigniting old habits, obsession, threats, emotional manipulation sends a chill through him. Meanwhile, Taylor continues to believe this time will be different, that this time Ridge will marry her and stay. That her years of patience, of standing by, will finally pay off. But even she can feel the tension mounting. Ridge's silences are growing longer, his gaze more distant, and every time she mentions the wedding, he flinches. Brooke, now deeply shaken by Thomas's return and his message, begins to retreat emotionally. She doesn't confront Ridge. She doesn't cry. She waits and watches. Because if Thomas is warning her, she knows one thing for certain: it doesn't bluff. Which means he's either planning something or knows something that could explode everything. As the week ends, no one is safe. Thomas's return has destabilized the fragile balance of Forrester loyalty. Taylor is pushing harder. Ridge is faltering. Brooke is bracing. And somewhere in the shadows, Thomas is still watching. The message has been delivered. The warning has been made. Now, the question is, what will break first?